Fresh off the success of the Lakers taking home the championship for the first time in 10 years, belatedly more into the autumn and pushing on for winter, really, when you think about it. LeBron has been churning out the shoes, churning out the LeBron 18s, but now turning his attention to the LeBron 8s, and we can learn an awful lot about this shoe dropping at this particular time and what that tells us about the LeBron line for 2021. And there's a lot in it and a lot to discuss. For example, feel free to laugh at me. You can do it anytime you like, but today especially, because there was something about this that made I was looking for, I was hunting around trying to find out, is this an OG or a retro? Which one is it? And there was something in it that gave it away. If you already know what I'm talking about, in the comments down below, laugh at me as much as you like to, because it was a bit ridiculous. But I'll tell you all about that in today's video, and I'll also tell you about this tiny, small smidgen of a detail that just really gets me. I really, really dig this tiny detail on this shoe, and it kind of makes it for me, even though it's one of the smallest details on the shoe, and it probably won't matter to most people out there, but it does to me. And with all that being said, let's get into this and take a look at this upcoming release of the Nike Lebron 8 Lakers. This is the Tokyo Bada 23 Sneaker Channel. Tokyo Bada 23 Sneaker Channel です。毎日アップするので、毎日見てください。Every single day from Tokyo, Japan. I bring you content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news, and sneaker reviews. And we've got an absolutely beautiful shoe today in many different respects. The materials used, the design, the overall look of the shoe, the tiny details on the shoe. Everything about this shoe just clicks for me, and I love it. I think it's an absolutely beautiful shoe. It's an iconic silhouette, represents LeBron moving down to Miami, where he won championship rings with his second franchise, and of course with the Lakers now third championship rings with the franchise. I think he's got 5 championship rings in total, and I think he might be one of only 2 players, maybe 3, to have 3 championship rings with 3 different franchises. Another legendary element of the story that is LeBron James. And this shoe, this silhouette, not this colorway, marks LeBron's move down to Miami, where he, few years down there and just taken just about every trophy that he possibly could home. But I'm really stressing that it's this silhouette that went down there with him and not this colorway, because that's how I knew that this wasn't a retro. And I mean, if you watch my channel regularly, you'll know I research these videos and I write up about the shoe before I actually talk to you guys about it, so that I'm not just, making gibberish. And what I wrote in the comments, for myself on this video was, of course, it's an OG dummy. I call myself a dummy because how could it possibly be anything else? Can you imagine him playing for Miami Heat and bringing out a Lakers colorway? That's just never, ever going to happen. So he's been with the Lakers for what, a year and a half, two seasons. I think a year and a half in calendar terms, but 2 seasons in NBA terms, and so of course he hasn't brought out a LeBron 8 Lakers silhouette and colorway before. So it's a brand new shoe. It's an OG, and what brilliant OG it is. It really speaks back to last year's LeBron 7s with the Lakers as well, which was, to me, the LeBron 7s is when he really hit his stride with his sneaker designs. Of course, 654-321, there's great stuff in there, but the LeBron 7s, it sort of, I don't know, something elevated it up a little bit and took his line to a new level. Classic silhouette from this year, because we're still in 2020, bringing that shoe back with the beautiful mismatch effect going on. Purple on one shoe, yellow on the other, or gold, even though it really is yellow. It's not gold when it comes to the shoe side of things. I know it's gold when it comes to the branding and the team, but that mismatch effect with the LeBron 7 Lakers from this year hasn't been repeated on this 8 for basically the coming year, even though these guys drop on December the 30th, and there's confusion with the drop dates as well, because some people said December the 15th. I know for a fact they didn't drop here in Japan on December the 15th. I don't think they dropped in the rest of the world on December 15th, and I'm pretty sure they drop everywhere on December the 30th. And if I've got any of that wrong, sorry, hit me up with a comment down below to correct me. But that's the times we live in with this pandemic. I was talking about that with the, what was it? It was the Dunk High Varsity Purples, and how I said that is the shoe that's for 2020, because the drop date got messed up, something chronic on that shoe, because of the pandemic and because of difficulties getting supply lines and getting chain of supply to get these shoes out there and get them in stores. And then here we are with this, is it December 15th, is it December 30th? I'm putting my money on December 30th because I haven't seen otherwise. If you know differently, definitely tell us in the comments down below. So it's a great story, a great shoe. It's great for me to be able to sort of put my hand up and say I'm a bit of an idiot sometimes, because I wasn't sure if this was OG or retro, but of course it's OG, because wouldn't retro a shoe from a time when he was in a different organisation? That definitely wouldn't happen. So, and then what can this tell us about the upcoming year for LeBron? I think it tells us something sad and something good. And the sad thing is they continue with this retro 10 years ago, bring out a LeBron 18, retro the LeBron 8s, bring out the LeBron 17, retro the LeBron 7s. So there's a sort of 10-year gap between the current shoe that's dropping and the retros they're doing. And I just feel like that's a little too soon. I talked about it with Adidas Ultra Boost and how they are celebrating the 5th anniversary of the Ultra Boost line. And I just felt like it's too soon to go retro, to go celebrating a shoe that's still basically within its own generation. And to me, to be honest, the LeBron 8s are still within the same generation as the LeBron 18s. So retroing them is a little bit too early. You want to do what like Jordan does and leave a long time between the retros, so that it really feels like something from a different time that's coming back. But having said that, it's one of the best silhouettes and the best LeBron shoes of the entire 18 stage, 18 shoes lineage. So, we can't really complain when it's a beautiful shoe like this. So there is, there is obviously, that's what it tells us about 2021 with the LeBron line. You're going to see an awful lot of LeBron 8s to come out alongside those LeBron 18s. And to be honest, I would buy the 8s over the 18s. Sorry, LeBron fans out there. And especially with the South Beach due to be retro, and that's definitely a retro, because that was one of the big sort of LeBron in Miami shoes, first season down there, bringing out this great silhouette and a pop in colorway. So hopefully we'll see that shoe coming down the line sometime in 2021 as scheduled, but as yet I don't think a drop date's been decided on. But a great shoe, and it tells us, this shoe dropping on December 30th tells us they are really serious about the LeBron 8s this year as much as they are about the LeBron 18s. So you're going to see a lot of retros and OGs coming in that classic 8 silhouette to go alongside the latest, which is the 18. So a lot, going on in the LeBron line, a lot, coming down the line with that, and of course with the Lakers taking home the championship, I think it really makes a difference, and makes the shoes even more, I guess, viable. The superstar of the game has just gone to a whole new level. Okay, let's get into the shoe and have a look at some of the details on it. I'm going to start with the thing I said I would, which is that little tiny detail. Here's a look at the pair, which we've probably had up behind me here for a while, and there's one thing on there that really, really strikes me, and really just, it's the kind of detail that they didn't need to do, and if they hadn't done it, nobody would have noticed, but because they did do it, it just brings out that little extra bit of character in the shoe. And slowly, hopefully I've been zooming in on it here on the green screen, and you're gradually getting close to the tongues there, where you've got the lion, sort of the king's motif on the top of the tongues there. And what I'm talking about is the little dashes of white on the eyes, which give it a sort of 3D effect that it wouldn't properly have. The eyes have a bit more kind of gravity to them, a bit more like sense to them, a bit more personality, or you can really feel them because of those tiny little white dots. And like I say, they don't really matter. People wouldn't really worry if they weren't there, but they just bring out a little bit more in that branding up there, and I really dig it, and hopefully you guys are getting what I'm talking about, and it's working out on the green screen here. And we'll stay with those white things, because white is one of the motifs of the shoe, because it is a gold and purple and white shoe. So those white eyes, it's not too hard to go down from that and just have a quick look at the laces. Nothing special about those, just that they are white. And then we'll cut across to the gold swoosh on the lateral side, and you'll see it bordered in white, and then we'll continue down. Hopefully this is all like transpiring on the green screen behind me here, to get to the midsole, also in white. So we've got those 4 points of white, eyes, laces, border around the swoosh, and then the midsole. And if we're coming back out to look at the whole shoe, you can see how important the white is to break up the purples and the golds on there and give a little bit of extra definition. And they're all well placed and all well sort of chosen, I suppose, decided, chosen. And they really make the shoe, come alive, because just purple and gold would have been a little bit too much, a bit overbearing. But the purple, let's zoom in on that. There's a really cool feature going on across the sort of lateral side of these guys, and you travel. I'll do it on the green screen again and travel from the toe up to the heel, and you'll see that there's a sort of effect where you're jumping between different panels. I think I'm right in saying there's 5 different panels, but the more important part of it is that there are the suede matte finish panels on there, and then the next one up you go into that kind of fly wire feel, glossy feel to that panel, and then a panel into the back to the suede with the matte finish, gloss and suede and matte, and that whole kind of jumping back and forward between the different panels on the lateral side, I think is absolutely iconic. Really, really beautiful addition. It brings out the suede and makes that suede feel even more luxe than it would do without the fly wire and the sort of rubberized effect that goes on in there. So that gloss matte finish to the lateral side is just a big yes for me. And then we'll flip the guys upside down, have a look at the outsole, which is all in that beautiful purple of the Lakers. Gone is the 7 sort of medallion and the circle in the middle that everything kind of radiates out from, but you still do have the icon in the middle of the outsole there, and then everything around it in purple. It is a bit nostalgic in a way, because these days, especially the last couple of seasons, outsoles have had an awful lot of colour on them, and you don't have segmented outsoles like you used to. They just have colour sort of built in I don't know how they get that done with the technology, but back in this day, in the LeBron 8's day, outsoles were a bit more simple, and it's kind of nice to look back to that and get a sort of throwback to 10 years ago. And I guess in the sneaker game, 10 years is a long time, especially when it comes to the technology of bringing us a shoe like this back out to look at the full shoe itself. Great looking shoe, a lot going on at the LeBron line after everything that happened with the NBA championship and the pandemic this year, and then bringing it, and I guess with Kobe Bryant as well, it's the right time to bring out this OG colorway, and it's going to lead into this 2021, where you're going to have a ton of these 8 retros coming down the line throughout the year. So it's a lot to look forward to, and this shoe is just the very beginning of all that. A great shoe and a great place to start the 2021 roster. For now though, it's time for me to sign off. Thank you guys for checking out the content. I've been churning it out, trying to keep up over the last few months, and I've got myself a few days off, so I feel like I can kind of get ahead of things again. Some days I was getting right down to the wire and getting you guys videos right at the last possible moment, but because of these days off, I'll be able to build a bit of stock, and then I won't be under pressure so much, which I'm very, very grateful to be able to do. So with that being said, I can confidently say, because I've already made it and it's already on YouTube and waiting for you guys to see it, that because I do this every single day, that means that you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.